Paso, Texas. Tucked along the banks of the Rio Grande, this former mining town with a heart of gold is home to one of the oldest bowl games on the college football landscape, the Sun Bowl. Once again, it's a showdown of East meets West, the Tar Heels of North Carolina and the Stanford Cardinal. Representing the Pac-12, Stanford's become a national power and hopes to ring in the new year with a 10-win season.
30, 20, forget about it. Touchdown, Cardinal. Huge play. 5-step drop, and he's hit hard and sacked. Solomon Thomas right up the gut.
And making the trek west are the cardiac Tar Heels from the ACC.
Shotgun. He's going to throw it. Howard leaps. He has it. Touchdown, Carolina. Back from the dead. Nick Weiler for a 54-yard game-winning field goal. Snap back, spot down. The kick is cleanly away. It is good! And how about them Tar Heels? They do it!
In the twilight of 2016, Stanford and North Carolina get set to ring in the new year in the 83rd annual Sun Bowl. And almost magically, about a half an hour ago, the sun came out in El Paso. Our matchup in the Hyundai Sun Bowl, the Cardinal of Stanford, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And the folks that come from Chapel Hill, that's a long route to get to El Paso. If you're a Cardinal fan, not quite as far on the trip from California. A chilly day, but everybody's ready for some football here as we approach the new year. And we say Happy New Year, almost, everybody. Brad Nessler, along with my partner, Gary Danielson. Interesting year, Gary, for these two teams. North Carolina, they had quality wins over Pitt, Miami, Florida State, but they didn't win their own state. They lost to Duke and North Carolina State. Stanford started strong, had a rocky patch in the middle of the season, and now they've won 5 straight. So you got to wonder who's hungrier coming into this.
And it matters in bowl games. Yeah. We've seen that every year. You know, the expectations of both of these teams were when they finished off last season, they thought this season they could fight for the playoffs. Then the disappointment of not getting that. Now they better be ready to play because one of the teams usually is, and you don't want to be the other one.
Well, we've got to talk about the elephant that's not in the room. That's one of the greatest players in college football over the last 2 years who won't be here today.
Besides a quarterback position, there's no player in college football that means as much to his team as McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, both in return yardage and the passing game, and then, of course, when he's carrying the rock, he was the guy for this offense. But life moves on, right. And today Bryce Love will take his spot. He did have one game as a starter, the Notre Dame game, when Christian couldn't play, and he ran for 129 yards against Notre Dame. Today he will become the featured back. He's had a lot of practice and reps. I suspect, though, that because no Christian McCaffrey, we will see more from Keller Chris. He's 5-0 as a starter, but besides that big arm, I think this big running back, Kyler Chris, will do a little bit more of this. North Carolina has been susceptible to a running quarterback. We will see if Stanford tries to tee up a little more runs for the quarterback.
And on the other side for North Carolina, we've got a quarterback that we might only see one more game before he heads to the NFL.
Yeah, you know, Christian McCaffrey said, I opt out. Mitch Trubisky says, I opt in. I want one more game. I want to show what I can do. These stats are amazing. He's had a tremendous one-year season for North Carolina. You know, a one-year starter is very unusual to be considered a #1 draft pick, but he's ready to show what he has against a legitimate contender in Stanford, and he has to just rely on Ryan Switzer. That is the guy. When you hand it off to him, pass it to him, or he catches a pump, he will be a weapon all day. I think a great matchup.
83rd Sun Bowl, 28th career bowl game for Stanford. And other than the Rose Bowl, this is the most bowl games they've ever been in is at Sun Bowl. North Carolina's been here as well. They're 1-1 in matchups against each other. Nick Weiler's got it teed up. Jay Tyler, Terrence Alexander are back deep, and the Sun Bowl is underway. And Tyler had a notion and takes a knee. So Stanford comes out offensively as we check the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, and it all starts with number 10, Keller Christ, big fella. 5-0, as Gary said, as a starter so far this year. His dad, a longtime coach. His uncle's the head coach at Wisconsin. In fact, he played a couple of years of high school ball in North Carolina when his dad was with the Panthers. So here he comes out to lead the troops at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he goes from North Carolina to Palo Alto High School. That's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Look across the street, and there's Stanford.
Single setback is the guy that takes Christian McCaffrey's spots. Bryce Love, play action. Chris going to lob it out there, completes. And it's Dalton Schultz, the tight end, short gain. As we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup offensively for Stanford. Michael Rector, leading receiver. 31 catches coming in. He and Trenton Irwin, actually, the top 2 receivers.
And remember that bootleg, because he had Trenton Irwin wide open on that one. I'm sure that will be marked, and we will see that again. Very conservative throw to start out the game by Keller.
Second down at 7 in the gun for Chris. And this time it's Love trying to weave his way to the outside. Only got about a yard. North Carolina, their defense has been susceptible, as Gary said, to the rush, but not on that particular handoff. You know, and their defense, pretty good unit. This guy is the best of the front.
Yeah, Nas Jones, another guy thinking about the NFL, wondering if he should do it or not. But today he better buckle up, you know, because he can show as much in this game as he might have shown all season facing this offensive line from Stanford. The scouts will look at this tape.
Stanford 43% on their third down conversions on the regular season. 3rd and 5 here, just inside their own 30-yard line. And it's Love taking it wide, and he's going to be close. He's run out just short of the first down. Cole Holcomb knocked him out, I think, about a yard shy.
I think Holcomb did a great job there, because Bryce Love set up the play and set up the block, but then Holcomb came off his block and made the play.
So they do come up a yard shy, and that brings out the punting unit. Jake Bailey will come on to kick. And Ryan Switzer back deep, and he is a dangerous punt return man. 7 career punt returns for touchdowns. He was telling us yesterday, in his career, he's had 4 called back because of penalties.
Well, like one every year, right?
Exactly.
It's a great angle kick.
He's going to handle this one from the 20. And got a quick burst for about an 8-yard return. So North Carolina now takes over offensively, and that'll bring on the Chick-fil-A starting lineup for the Tar Heels. We talked about this guy already. Mitch Trubisky, who's had a sensational year for North Carolina, virtually every single season passing mark, and he fits the bill. 6'3", 225.
I gotta say, Mitch forced me to come here a day early. I wanted to watch him practice, and you know what? You watch, you actually can't take your eyes off of him. Not only is he good looking without the helmet, he's got all the tools that anyone would love to have to take to any level of football, and he's got an important, as we talked about before, decision to make after this game.
They keep it on the ground and get some of that yardage back. They get a bunch of it back. TJ Logan, big run.
Well, TJ Logan was a starting tailback for North Carolina as a true freshman, and then he had to share, or maybe not even quite equally share, the carries with Elijah Hood. But you can see one of the few backfields in college football that have a 1-2 punch. However, no Hood today.
Yeah, just a 1 punch today, and he punched it for 14 yards. They faked the toss to him, and Trubisky in the open field now, and he shows his mobility. And a first down, North Carolina.
Yeah, I believe this was a read. Even though it looked like an option play, he did the pitch fake, but he was reading the end man on the line of scrimmage that time. And when he saw the opening, he just took it.
Good looking play. First down at the 45. 3 wide receiver set for the most part. That's what we'll see today. That Switzer in motion. Straight up the middle this time. And only to the 45-yard line. Solomon Thomas on the stop as we take a look at the rest of the Tar Heels starting lineup. TJ Logan will be the guy that has to carry the load today. Came in with 578 yards and 7 touchdowns on the season with Hood not here.
Of course, Larry Fedora's offense features a lot of fast snaps, quick substitutions, and Stanford has to be more ready than that for any team facing that in the Pac-12.
Play action, Trubisky Fires, got a man, and he's wide open. And that one sailed on him a little bit. Switzer was the intended receiver. Stanford defensively. Guy that you're going to see a lot of today is Solomon Thomas, number 90. But Alfieri and that linebacking core, it's kind of a unique group because they have about 6 guys that play linebacker, and they just kind of rotate them every series.
Especially inside. They may stay a little longer with Alfieri and Kalambaya on the outside. Excuse me, on the outside. But inside, they really rotate it.
Taria's 3rd and 10. Low snap. Trubisky handles it. Boom. Fires a strike this time. First down at the 40.
Just a confident thrower, being able to look out there. You know Stanford's going to give you a lot of zone coverage, so you have to step into your throws and defeat the zone with arm strength. Gets a drop right here to the outside and throws it right over his head of Kevin Fulma, number 44. And that's the pocket to be able to step up into, and he let it go. So he escaped, and then he stepped into a pocket.
They've been close to him, and he's done this on the previous 2 occasions. Escape, but and he does again.
That move again.
Trubisky. And now he's heading to the sideline. He'll become a runner and picks up good yardage. Wow. Nice job in the pocket.
Number 34, he just shook off an outside linebacker. Kalambaya is 6'3", 245. And Trubisky gets to the outside and breaks down the defense.
And got it all the way to the 25-yard line. We're 2nd down and 3.
And here's the danger of the tempo now. They will go fast when they make a lot of yards on first down.
Straight up the middle. About a yard shy of the first down is TJ Logan. So 5 minutes into the game, North Carolina's got a good drive going here. Going to bring in an extra tight end here on short yardage. 48 yards and 8 plays so far on the drive.
Stanford will continue to substitute for one reason, to slow North Carolina down anytime they have an opportunity to.
Both tight ends lined up on the left side for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, Buck Howard is really controlling a safety real deep here that you can't see. He actually takes 2 men out of the formation.
Logan got the first down and then some. Pops it inside the 20-yard line down to the 18.
See, this is good formation usage by North Carolina. You split out 1 receiver and you take out 2 defenders on the play.
And then you run basically straight up the middle for the first down.
You do the math. I think it's still a North Carolina advantage, right?
Exactly. In the red zone for the Tar Heels, just inside the 19. Trubisky, play action, fires, end zone, touchdown, Switzer.
Well, you cannot let him step that back foot. When he does, those zone defenses, there's just too much space out there.
So the combination we talked about in the open is the battery for the opening score of the ball game.
Well, Ryan Switzer just takes it from the slot, coming in motion, and then hits it right up the seam. Comes in motion, and then right up outside in the seam. Actually, was outside motion with Switzer in the slot to begin with, but you saw that little fake out and back in.
So Switzer hauls in his 6th touchdown of the year, and for Trubisky, his 29th scoring toss, a school record. Weiler in for the point after.
Switzer has such great feet.
Extra point up and good. And in the 83rd annual Sun Bowl, it's North Carolina that strikes first. 8:58 remaining first quarter. 71-yard drive. This was the 10th play, a 19-yard strike. Trubisky to Switzer. Tar Heels 7-0. So Weiler would kick. And again, it's Tyler and Alexander back deep for Stanford. And Tyler chases it down again. He will not bring it out, and will bring it out to the 25 for Stanford on their 2nd offensive possession. Switzer, the recipient of that touchdown pass by Trubisky.
Well, you know that David Shaw and Stanford will not panic with points. I mean, they play in the Big 12. They see a lot of points. They're not going to come out of what they do best, running the ball with power.
Daniel Marks, the fullback, slips in there in an I formation. And Kristoff play action to throw to the outside, and one hopped it, intended for Michael Rector, and he took a hit after that. And it was Nas Jones that got to him. Stanford, we said, started strong, 3-0. They were up to number 7 in the country. Then they lost 3 of their next 4. I mean, good teams, but still, that wasn't what they were planning. And then when they changed quarterbacks, and the guy that just took that hit, Christ, 5-0 as a starter coming in.
There's an old saying, Brad, you don't want to let one loss become more than one loss, and I think that Washington loss shocked them, especially the way they lost it might have affected them against Washington State, and they did not play well against Colorado.
David Shaw was telling us there was a variety of things. The offensive line had to gel. McCaffrey had to get healthy. Nice pass over the middle of first down to Schultz, the tight end. He gets roughed up at the end of the play. That's 2 catches already in the first quarter for Schultz. Pick up a 16.
Well, Kyler Chris, if you talk to the Stanford people, they say they're a little concerned about him early in the game. He's a little inaccurate, but he gets better as the game goes on. He threw one hopper and now settled into a nice throw, an easy throw right over the middle.
First down, Stanford at the 41-yard line. Love to his right. Tremendous speed if he gets in the open field. This time straight up the middle and a good run. His best out to the 47.
Well, as we mentioned, there was a change at quarterback. Ryan Burns started the season, and it's not really fair to Ryan. His stats a little bit better for Keller Christ. I mean, I've been there. That's the way it goes sometimes. And as David Shaw said, we really had to find our offensive line. We had to, and our right tackle was playing left guard. We didn't have the right left tackle in the game. They became more solidified as the season went along.
Love, now the end around. Quarterback trying to lead the way for Rector. And he's going to come up a little bit shy of the first down.
Well, I tell you, Gene Chiswick's defense stayed home, stayed with fundamentals, and sniffed that out really nicely. And look how quickly North Carolina switched their defense. They were ready to switch, and they got new, fresh players to rush the passer. Nobody out of position for North Carolina. They have come ready to play.
You called it. There's Gene Chiswick standing up in the middle.
Yeah, there he is right there.
Former Auburn head coach, and he's revitalized this North Carolina defense over the last couple of seasons as a defensive coordinator.
I mean, they knew the task. They knew they were going to have a physical football team in front of them.
They got a physical line in front of them. Everybody getting low, and the running back got just enough. Cameron Scarlett's over the top. Is going to have the first down by about a foot.
Nobody gets lower as offensive linemen than Stanford. They get in 4-point stances, and they got their chest like 6 inches off the ground.
There's a great shot of it right there. And they cross the midfield stripe, pick up the first down at the 49.
You always question whether teams are ready to play in these bowl games, but I think both teams respected each other's programs and were ready to play.
That's a big thing they talked to us about. Not only the coaches, because sometimes that's coach speak, but the players felt that way. Christ, play action, going to lob one down the sideline, and it's Love, and they're not going to catch him. Love is gone. Touchdown, Stanford. 49 yards. We said when he gets in the open field, you can forget about it. He's got 10-1 speed, and his quarterback laid it right on him.
And you know what else he did? He had him so open, he did not overthrow him. That's the one you really hurt when you got a guy that open. You lead him tried too perfectly, and you miss a touchdown. Love had to slow down, but not that much.
So each quarterback has connected on a touchdown pass here in the first quarter, and we're an extra point away from a tie. Conrad Ukropina for the point after. Up and good.
And 2-back shotgun. This is the way it was done 25 years ago, or 30 when I played. You clear out with this guy, and then you run the wheel to the back to the other side. Little play action pass kept the linebacker from taking his man right away, and then he's gone.
World-class speed for number 20. Slowed down just enough to speed up. 75 yards in 6 plays. Touchdown passes evened it at 7 in El Paso. Pretty even so far, huh?
Yeah. You get one guy starting out his career that has a little difference, more of a play-action passing game. The whole offense is built around Trubisky. I mean, either he's running the ball or he's throwing it all over the field. But effective. David Shaw's style and the way he's built this team, I think, is depth and fundamentals, and he challenges his team every day. I think Larry Fedora had a tough rebuild. He had one of the worst defenses in the college football when he came there. He put his imprint, and it was offense first, and then he backfilled with a defense, both very successful.
From the goal line,
Nice escape there.
Still not going to get to the 20-yard line.
And let's see if Stanford's defense has any answers, because they were picked apart badly on the first drive.
Switzer in the backfield with
there's a way to do it.
And drill him there.
A switch in linebacker, Mike Tyler, number 33, comes in and makes a play.
Number 66, Harrison Phillips at the
plays a kind of a down defensive end linebacker, outside linebacker. They shift that defense from 4-3 to 3-4 almost on every play. This time he's standing up.
And Jordan Brown is going down. So Stanford coming up strong, and that guy is a football player, Solomon Thomas.
If you want to have fun, there could have been, and I was looking forward to watching Christian play, weren't you? And McCaffrey, we all were.
Right.
I mean, that's the way it goes. But we still probably have 2 #1 draft picks should they decide to, because Solomon Thomas would be anybody's draft pick as a defensive outside linebacker, maybe a inside wide tackle in the NFL. He is a beast.
About 273 pounds worth of beast. And Trubisky back to throw. Screen pass. Phillips is waiting there, and he's going to make the play. He didn't get the tackle. The number 66 has had 2 good plays in this series, and North Carolina's going to have to punt.
Well, 2 negative plays. North Carolina decided they did not want to chance a play down at this end of the field. Solomon Thomas makes 1 move, but Harrison Phillips, the nose tackle, on a stunt ran right into it.
And 2 of the 3 tackles on that series was Phillips. And now the shifts as North Carolina set to punt. Tom Sheldon back in his own end zone.
Sheldon in punt formation.
Jay Tyler waits on the other end. He just got it away. Tyler, no fair catch and no return. Nice job by the North Carolina punt coverage unit. One of the best in the business, in fact, in that capacity. There's a toss, and it's Scarlett. And he's getting more work than he's accustomed to.
And look how quickly North Carolina substitutes. They've got a system, and they know exactly what they do. They got fresh players on the field right away.
And both teams changing up bodies on a 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, this time Brandon Fanica, number 71, is an extra lineman in the field for Stanford, and North Carolina adjusts to the extra lineman. They're ready for this game.
And we appreciate the fact that Stanford does huddle.
Yeah, Fanica's on the left side. He's playing the left tight end right there. I don't have a circle big enough to get that. That's a big man.
2nd down and 8. They toss it. And they do give the fullback finally a stat. Daniel Marks. Well, he was about 3 plays behind when I said he should get some sugar.
Well, you called it. Andre Smith, number 10, had the big hit and took his helmet off. I think he's going to get called.
Number 10 of the defense, removing his helmet on the field of play. 15-yard penalty. An automatic first down.
I'm thinking he's
That's
saying
number 10's first unsportsmanlike conduct of the game.
I think the helmet was coming off. See, he got hit. The helmet was already half off when he got hit by his teammate right there.
I think some of the stuff he said when he took the helmet off probably attributed to that.
I think it was coming off, Brad. I really do. I don't think he took it off to celebrate at all. I think it was halfway coming off. And then when his teammate slapped him on the head, congratulating him, it jarred him again. He was not happy with his teammate. See, he was. I didn't think that was a celebratory or a taunting move. I'm very lenient grader.
Yes, you are. You are. Well, that's 1 for him. 2, and he's not playing anymore.
I know.
First down. Chris, straight drop, going to loft it to the end zone, and it is intercepted. No, caught. Touchdown.
Wow.
He took it away from the defensive back. Arcega-Whiteside. M.J. Stewart, I thought, had the football, and all of a sudden it wasn't in number 6's hands.
I don't blame him. I mean, that could have gone either way. Arcega-Whiteside, who had the big catch against UCLA for the game winner, comes up with a beauty here. He took it right away from him.
I don't even know how it didn't hit the ground. Here's another look.
You know, and MJ Stewart, if you talk to the North Carolina people, say that's our best guy. We don't have anybody better than that.
Right.
What a play.
I'm still not sure.
Did it hit the ground?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it might have. Yeah, it did.
Review. Neither player was able to secure possession of the ball, get his feet on the ground prior to the ball hitting the ground. This is an incomplete pass. Ball will be placed at the 27-yard line. Second down.
Oh, so one thing we know for sure, there's a little more Stanford fans here.
Yeah.
Right?
Spattering of boos
Yes.
there. Smith came in 110 tackles on the season. And here's the keeper by Chris, and he's still going inside the 20 down to the 19.
So they are reading that, and Chris got shaken up on this play. The Stanford quarterbacks wear left knee braces because that's their front leg. When they throw, they try to protect it. But you can see at the end of this play, right away, you could see he was hurt. Reads the end man, pulls it, keeper. And Big Nas must fall on him. Yeah,
and he comes up holding his right knee.
Absolutely. I walked to the bench after I blew my knee and had surgery, and it's very reminiscent of Jalen Smith's injury a year ago for Notre Dame in a bowl game.
Right now, Christian McCaffrey might be saying,
I mean,
you know
that's
why
the
I'm
danger.
not there?
And I think one of the decisions for Christian McCaffrey not to play is this is a turf field.
This is what everybody looked at as you were talking about. Jalen Smith last year in the bowl game and his knee. He still became a second-round draft choice, but he lost about $18 million in guaranteed money if you consider first round, second round.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that might not be a lot to you, but that's a lot to me.
And Ryan Burns in at quarterback. So, and obviously, there's his dad, Jeep, looking on. And concerned, obviously. Now we go back to a standard set with Burns under center. First and 15, just outside the 20. Play action. Burns going to run right into a defender, and the pass incomplete, intended for his tight end Schultz again.
Yeah, but it was defended very, very well by Cole Holcomb again. Nowhere to go with the ball. Got a man right in his face, Mickey Bart right in his face. He either had to throw it to him or he was going to get sacked.
He took a shot at the end of the play. Now they are going to run him wide to the top of the screen again and go back to what they tried to do earlier in the Wildcat with Cameron Scarlett. Reagan Williams with him in the backfield. Second down, 15 for the Cardinal. Scarlett waits, trying to pick his spot, and only got about a yard and a half.
Well, you got to say North Carolina has been ready to play. When we visited with Gene Chiswick, defensive coordinator, we said, you know what you're going to get? He said, yeah. I put the film on and said, listen, if you don't want to do it, they're going to run right over you. And I think so far North Carolina's done a good job against the run game.
We played a quarter in El Paso. End of one. Stanford 7, North Carolina 7. We'll return to El Paso after this message and a word from your local station.
Welcome back to El Paso. Tied up at 7 as we are set to begin the second quarter. Stanford quarterback Keller Chris still in the athletic training tent. I'll keep you updated as I know more on him. If you've been with us all season long, you've seen us celebrate the college football career of our very own Vern Lundquist. It's been fun sending him off, but it's now time to officially welcome the newest member to our broadcast crew, Brad Nessler. Now, this isn't Brad's first Sun Bowl. He worked the Sun Bowl twice before in 1990 and 1991, and he goes way back with Gary. The two worked together previously at ABC, ESPN for 5 years. They're great friends, and we couldn't ask for a better part of our team. Brad, welcome. We're so glad to have you here.
Very nice, Allie. Thank you so much. Second time around, partner.
You still use one of these, huh?
Yeah, I still have a little pocket hanky going. You know, good first quarter, 7-7, but we don't have one of the best players in college football in the game by his choosing, and now Stanford loses its starting quarterback.
Listen, this is one of the toughest things about bowl games. And you know, you can have all of the media people and all the talking heads talking about these games are important, and every time you compete, you want to win. We get that. But there is a bigger picture here, and when you see a guy go down, you know, it could have been Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
I mean, so when you watch these games and people like to criticize players like Christian McCaffrey, just remember what just happened. There's a lot riding on these guys' careers.
With that, Ryan Burns, who started the season as Stanford starting quarterback, in there in relief, and back to throw, and in trouble and going down at the 30-yard line. And Nas Jones, the big fella, the defensive captain, with the sack.
That's been one of Ryan Bird's problems. When he played against Washington State, they had 11 sacks against Stanford. And a lot of it can be attributed to the offensive line or backs, but sometimes it's just the quarterback holding on to the ball too long. And I thought Burns held on to it too long, considering he was in much better field goal position on third down. Now this is a much tougher try at 44.
Ucrapena's 52 yards is his career long. This would be a 44-yard field goal attempt.
With the win, though.
He was 18 out of 22 on the year, right in the middle of the field and right in the middle of the goalposts. So the field goal is good, and the Cardinal taking the lead. 14-13 remaining in the first half. 44-yard field goals put Stanford up 10-7 in the Hyundai Sun Bowl. Something you never want to see at any position of any player is something like we saw with Keller Christ as he lifted his knee up after planting that right foot and then being helped to the sideline, and now moments ago being carted into the locker room with a bag of ice on his right knee, and that is rough to see. Let's check in with Allie.
Brad, you could see the devastation on his face when the Stanford athletic team requested the UTEP medical cart to cart him off. He was fighting back tears. He had ice wrapped around his leg, not directly on his knee, but below his knee, on the front and on the back of his shin and his calf.
And then the thing that you worry about when you're a parent is something like that happening. There's his dad, Jeep, coming over and talking to some of his Stanford teammates and said, hey, you know, you guys got to keep playing.
And it helps there to be in football yourself,
right,
to be able to go up there and understand that now some of the players are concerned. He knows as a coach that that communication was important for the Stanford football team.
Meanwhile, the field goal is giving Stanford the lead, and now the kickoff out of the end zone. Drops to throw again, getting some pressure, feels that pressure in the pocket, throws on the run and threw a strike for a first down.
And this guy's got a lot of tools, Brad. You know, he reminds me, he reminds me of Carson Wentz.
That's a good point.
He's got that big body. He has good feet, keeps his eyes downfield, athletic, not afraid of anything.
He's gotten some pressure, but he just feels it beautifully.
Yes. Really does remind me of Carson Wentz.
Fakes the throw, and now he's going to keep it all the way on this one, and only got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think Mr. Trubisky may make a trip down to the sideline and ask Mr. Fedora if he would quit running my quarterbacks at runs right now, don't you think?
Yeah. Larry Fedora, who's a guy that went to college here in the state of Texas at Austin College in Sherman.
Their nickname, come on. The Austin...
You got me.
Kangaroos.
Oh, that's right. I did hear that at the luncheon yesterday. I should have taken better notes at the luncheon.
You got number one.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Second down, 9. Trubisky looking left the whole way. Goes that way and completes it. Second one to Jordan Cunningham out there on this drive. Murphy made the tackle.
Well, North Carolina, they came so close a year ago. Remember, they were in the ACC championship game a year ago.
Yep.
Thought they could have been there this year. They were 6-2. I thought they were going to be in it again. Had two big signature wins this year, Florida State, Miami.
And the last second one against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and as Brad said, they did not win the state championship.
Yeah, lost to Duke and NC State in the final 3 weeks of the season.
I was shocked by both of those games.
Third down at 4, low snap again. Trubisky, pressure coming from behind, down the middle and intercepted. Picked off by Stanford. It's Dallas Lloyd, their captain in the secondary, and Lloyd all the way down to the 20-yard line. His 4th interception of the season, and it's a big one.
Trubisky does not throw a lot of interceptions. Brad ran you through that already. Especially when they win. They've had none all year, but this time Lloyd playing a deep safety just kind of gets a gift. He's lined up right there. Watch how he comes in, gets in the spot, and just right there. It's almost a robber position. He looks like he's going to be deep. He comes into the robber position, and Trubisky, as he lets it go, thought he had Switzer wide open, and he did not. Great defensive call by Stanford. Kind of forced a throw, and he walked right into the interception.
Golden opportunity now to add more points as they've got it almost in the red zone right now, just outside the 20-yard line. And now Burns, bootleg off play action, throws on the run, tipped and caught
what a catch
by Rector. He caught it twice, tipped it to himself. And it's going to be first and goal.
Well, Rector had a couple touchdowns in last year's Rose Bowl game against Iowa, but Burns threw a fastball at him, and Rector stayed with it and caught it on the second one.
Mitch Trubisky is going, could you please tell the umpire next time, stay away from me.
That's not funny either. I'm laughing, and it's not funny.
So at the 6-yard line, Stanford's got it first and goal.
Mr. Quick got some airtime he did not want.
Exactly.
It's funny. We're talking about North Carolina having the ball and start the second half, and all of a sudden it switches the other way.
That ended up being 17 for Stanford before this is over. Love straight up the middle, just inside the 5.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if North Carolina should be taking some timeouts here, because you know Stanford's going to bleed it. Don't you want the ball back again?
The Rising Red Zone, they've got a field goal out of their 2 trips so far today. And another timeout here with 52 seconds to go. Burns in the shotgun this time. His favorite target has been Arcega-Whiteside, who's to the top of the screen. Burns throws over the middle, and again intended for Bryce Love, who thought he was held by the linebacker.
Yes, and the umpire was in the way, so he evened it up.
I'm not going to say anything.
Let's see if it was the umpire or being held, or both. You go see, there it is, Mr. Quick. All right, 1-1.
He got out of the way in that time, just in the nick of time. So that's third and goal at the 15.
It is. Offenses use the umpires for picks on those crossing routes. So Mr. Quick has been in the action.
Third down. Burns in trouble, flushed out of the pocket. He's going to keep it now. He has to. He's over the line of scrimmage, isn't he?
I thought he was.
Oh, he was 4 yards over the line of scrimmage.
Yes, by a lot.
His pocket awareness is not as sharp as yours used to be.
Yeah, he was at least 3 or 4 yards. You had it with your eyeball. The TV, obviously, the line is on there right there. Okay. You can see him. Yeah, that's quite a bit.
He throws it from about the 11.
Man. Now, what do you do if you're North Carolina? Do you back them up and give them another third down throw to save a tougher field goal, or do you let him kick from there? I let him kick right from there.
Well, and pray for a left upright.
Yes, yeah. To make it number 5.
Ucropina, if you're just joining us, missed one earlier when he hit the left upright. As Gary said, it's the 4th time that's happened to him this year.
Yeah.
Earlier, though, he was good from 44 on that one.
All he has to do is avoid the left upright. They're good.
Yeah, from 36, that sidewinder came off the left upright.
And he had his famous field goal, of course, a year ago when he beat Notre Dame with a 45-yarder to knock them in that game.
Conrad Ucropina.
So he'll try again.
It's a big win for North Carolina after that turnover to keep the score the way it is.
This will be from 33. This time, no left upright. Right down the middle for Ucropina. There's 2 out of 3 now on the day. But as Gary said, 3's a lot better than 7. So halftime of the Hyundai Sun Bowl. And the Stanford Cardinal leading 13-7. The head coach is with Allen.
Coach, you started this game without Christian. Now you're without your starting quarterback. How will the offense overcome those losses?
Well, the big thing for us is doing what we're supposed to do. And the good thing is both teams are playing really hard. You know, we got to play a little bit smarter. We got to take the things that are there. Penalties are killing us. But if we get rid of the penalties and just keep moving the ball, we'll be fine. Are you able to tell us what Keller's injury is? Not right now, no. Okay, thank you, Coach. Thank you.
At least he gave us an honest no right there. Well, we kind of know what it is. We just don't know the severity of it. So North Carolina trailing at the break, but they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. End of the half. Stanford in the Hyundai Sun Bowl leading 13-7 as we head to Adam Zucker and the guys in our New York studio. Stanford leads 13-7, just about set to start the 3rd quarter. Before we do, Alley's with Larry Fedora.
Coach, you said this game would be all about stopping the run. You did that, but how do you get your rushing attack going?
Yeah, we just got to do a better job up front in the offensive line. You know, they've hit some plays on us, and we've been inconsistent. We've got to do a much better job just being consistent up front.
What do you hope gives your team the edge in the second half to pull away?
Well, I mean, we're playing good ball. We've put our defense in bad position twice, and they came up, held them to field goals. So we just need to take this first one down and score.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson up in the booth. Thanks, Allie. You know, Gary, at first quarter looked like it was going to be a shootout.
Yeah, right.
Each quarterback throws a touchdown pass, but I'd say right now defense is playing ahead of the offense.
Yeah, three numbers. You know, North Carolina's not known as a running team. They rushed for 43 yards, but Stanford only ran for 63 yards. Right. North Carolina only threw for 83 yards. And as you said, the way Trubisky started, we thought, you know, it was going to be 150 yards in the first quarter.
Well, I think a little bit of, you know, frustration on the part of some of the wide receivers, too, that they're not getting their hands on the ball.
Yeah, when you're a playmaker, you want the football. But I think, you know, Larry Fedora said it. We're in the game. Those two stops by his defense kept them in the football game, and now they got a chance with the football, score one time, and everything looks better, and that frustration turns around.
As Ali said, one possession game, so the kickoff by Jake Bailey to start the third quarter. And this one will not be returned either, so Trubisky and company will start at the 25-yard line. There's Switzer in motion. And trying to run a draw play, and Logan loses a yard. And it was Solomon Thomas on the tackle.
Yeah, he gets low, he gets off, and he gets in on the play.
Wow. Might not get official.
No, Harrison Phillips is going to get the official one, but he made the play. There's no doubt about that.
Second down, 11. Let's see if Trubisky tries to get one to Switzer. He's in the slot. Got plenty of time to throw, and now he's running out of time. Throws at the last moment, and it's caught.
That was a flat-footed 40-yard throw with traffic all around him. He knew he had Switzer open, but he was under pressure. Switzer has his arm up, but watch this. Flat-footed, under pressure, guns it down there.
And he got number 3, Switzer, so that's Switzer's longest gain of the day.
So the two guys in the meeting, Prohl and Switzer, catch
the first 2 balls of the third quarter, and now he's going to the end zone and overshot his third receiver, Bud Morgan. Bud Howard, Howard, beg your pardon.
Justin Reed saw Switzer catch some footballs, so watch what's going to happen in the slot right here. Bang! Ooh. Now, we had Eric Reed at LSU, and little brother learned from big brother how to stop those little slot receivers right there.
Brother Eric, an All-American at LSU, and then on to the 49ers. Second down and 10.
He's got single coverage again in the slot. He can get a little move, get the fade down the sideline.
And he's going to keep it, and he shouldn't have.
No.
Nice job by Stanford defensively, and Gobi Alfieri in on the stop.
Whenever you have that one high safety, you know you got man-to-man. And that slot receiver, that's a tough cover for those little slot receivers, but he's got to readjust his pads after that hit from Justin Reed.
Making sure everything's in the right spot.
Yes.
Well, they've mixed it up with the run and the pass so far on this drive. It's taken a little over 2 minutes.
He's back in the game, in the slot.
Center official holding up play for a second. There he is. On third down and long. Trubisky going long. Sideline. And incomplete. Intended for Prohl, and Murphy broke it up at the goal line.
Brad, look what Stanford is doing to Ryan Switzer. You got a safety over here. This is how they got the interception, but he's shifting across, going to the slot from the opposite side. That caused the interception before. So you got the safety on the far side, shooting across the field, looking for the in route to Switzer, and the other safety going to the middle.
And Nick Weiler's out for a field goal attempt. This is within his range.
It is.
51-yard attempt. We talked about his long, and you saw it earlier, a 54-yarder against Florida State. From 51 here, the Sun Bowl, and no good, wide left.
Plenty of foot.
Yep. So again, North Carolina comes up empty by that much. Still 13-7. Stanford with the ball when we come back. And the Cardinal taking over now after the missed field goal at the 34-yard line. Love straight up the middle. Here he goes. Bryce Love, 40, inside the 30. Going to get a block. And he's got it first and goal. Well, he had a big pass reception for a touchdown, and now he rips off a long run of 60 yards.
Watch Daniel Marks, number 35, get the key block. Brad, you said they gave him his one carry. Well, it paid off because he sprung him. You get the fullback fitting on that linebacker, and then you see the speed in the open field for Love. And wow, if you're struggling to find a way to move the ball, why not go ISO?
There you go. And at 59 yards later, it's first and goal at the 7. Longest run of Bryce's career. I'm sure there'll be some more big ones in the future, but this has set Stanford up to really take control here in the third quarter. But they self-destructed in the red zone in the first half. From the 7.
That's not been working.
No, and it's
Nas Jones, isn't it?
Oh, he's had a good game.
He did.
Big Nas.
He gets a lot of negative plays. He's agile. Went through a disease, an illness that cost him to lose like 50 pounds. Got big again and got nimble, or kept being nimble.
And got big to the tune of 310 now.
He's a big man.
He is. And a big loss back to the 14-yard line.
Boy, these negative plays and penalties, it's just on Stanford.
Single receiver. Arcega Whiteside. Play action. He doesn't have anybody to throw to.
No, he doesn't. He's trying to go to the outside. There was nothing there.
Malik Carney was applying the pressure.
At least he got rid of the ball this time, but he tries to go play action pass. No safety. Chiswick is playing it very aggressive. There's nowhere to throw that. You almost wonder if it was a busted play.
I don't know. Unless he was thinking Dalton Schultz, the tight end, was going to get
absolutely
deeper.
Maybe Schultz got jammed at the line of scrimmage. I didn't notice it, but he had nowhere to go.
They are going nowhere again. And a reminder, if you didn't see it earlier, Keller Christer, starting quarterbacks on the sideline on crutches.
Third down.
Suffering a right knee injury in the first half.
They just went 5 yards further back.
Yeah.
Must have been an illegal substitution. Oh, he called intentional groundings, we're told from the truck. There was no one out there. We'll have to say that.
And that's third and goal from the 26.
Yeah, there's no one to throw to. He could not find anybody. He just throws it away to avoid the sack. Good call.
Well, now he's at least got the extra receivers out there. He's going to need them on third and goal from this far back. And he's going to the end zone and out of the end zone.
Oh, man, that is one that you would like to have over.
Owusu was open.
Yeah, third and that long, and a busted coverage from North Carolina, and you can't make the throw. Nowhere to go. Des Lawrence is the closest guy, but he turns around and looks at people and goes, what happened?
Now they're going to be lucky to get a field goal out of this. And they may not. Although Ugrapina has hit 2 of 3 today. The other one hit the left upright. This one from 43.
The red zone offense has been on red.
Oh, I guess. And from 43, he's made the adjustment off that left upright. I'll give him that much. Ugrapina adds 3 more. And with 10:18 remaining in the third quarter, Stanford now 16-7. Another field goal has made it a 9-point game with 10:18 to go in the third quarter.
Brad, we were able to dissect what happened here. Stanford goes unbalanced to the right, which means on this side of the line, you have a tight end and a guard, Johnny Caspers. Dalton Schultz tries to get out, but is stepped on by Johnny Caspers, never gets out. And as Brad, as you said, he had no one to throw to, that's why.
And thus the penalty.
Yep.
They did get the field goal, but they had it first and goal at the 7-yard line and had to settle for 3. It's going to be like that, huh?
That's right.
Waiting for a kick they can return, and they're not getting a chance. First down, North Carolina. There's Trubisky with a give to Logan.
It's not there, is it?
No, it's not. Logan picks up about 3. Norris Davis went on the stop.
They've struggled all year, I said, running the ball. They ran it against Georgia Tech. They ran for 283 in that game. Illinois, they ran for 197. After that, it's hard to find a game where they were able to effectively run the football this year.
Again, Elijah Hood, their leading rusher, not in the game, not at the game. Will be back next year, however, in the North Carolina uniform. 2nd down and 7. It's Logan taking it wide. He's got blockers out in front and dives his way to a 1st down. Alameen Murphy made the hit. Tommy Hatton was the guy leading the way out there.
People ask me all the time, how can it be so easy to do something on the first drive, and then what happens? I mean, did Stanford adjust? Sometimes it's just the right calls at the right times. You had a hot quarterback. Remember, he avoided a couple sacks and made the throws.
Down the middle on this throw. That's complete to Switzer at another 1st down. Ball gets there in a hurry, doesn't it?
He did. This time he waited and avoided Sean Barton, number 27, the linebacker, just long enough. See, he gets just past the linebacker and delivers the ball. Great vision again.
And Switzer 2 catches now in the 3rd quarter. And 3 for the game, including the touchdown. That's Ryan in motion. Stanford almost jumps on the hard count from Trubisky. And Logan with tough run this time, and he broke a tackle and got a 1st down.
Almost like a judo or jiu-jitsu move that time. He used the strength of the defender and spun it for him. I think that time you had a defender, Joey Alfieri, trying to steal the football instead of tackle the runner, and it cost him 4 or 5 yards.
Good point. And instead a 1st down for North Carolina. And Trubisky on the keeper to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
You don't have time to wait that long with number 90. He's an NFL player. This is like this, when you went in the zone read in the NFL, you have to do the read. You can't go read.
He read that really quickly.
Exactly. You got to go faster, because if number 90's coming, that's like those guys in the next level come after you on that defensive line.
Solomon's got some family. He's from Coppell, Texas. Won the Morris Trophy as the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, and I can see why.
Yep.
Trubisky all day to throw. Down the middle, and the overshot Cunningham. Ratliff Williams.
But you're right, all day. This time, he has all day and as wide open as you can. Remember early in the game when Stanford's Keller Christ had Love wide open?
Yeah.
You just can't lead a guy like that. You can't miss that one. We all do, but we all just look and go, oh my gosh. You can't overthrow him.
Well, critics of whether or not he's an NFL first-round draft choice will look at that one too, though.
Yeah, well, they look at them all.
Yep.
Yes.
Every snap and every pass.
He had great protection that time. Good job by that O-line.
Stanford thinking about bringing a blitz. They will come with it. Trubisky in trouble again, trying to get out of there, and he's tripped up. Nice play by Joey Alfieri.
It's going to be about 4th and 4 or 5, and it's going to be field goal. He feels it coming around the corner, and Alfieri is the last guy that had a chance on him. If he doesn't make that tackle, it's touchdown.
Nice closing speed, though,
yes,
for a linebacker. And that'll bring out Nick Weiler, as Gary said, for a field goal attempt. He missed one from 51 earlier and was upset with himself. This should be, for him, relatively easy. 37-yard field goal attempt. And it is easy.
That's a big 3 points for this reason. That should have been an offensive pass interference. So that's 3 extra points they really didn't deserve, because that would have come back.
So Nick Weiler connects on a 37-yard field goal. We're back to a 1-possession game. Stanford by 6. Weiler's kick.
We know this. In the NFL, you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance, right?
Meanwhile, the backup quarterback, who was the starter at the beginning of the year for Stanford, at the controls here after the injury to Keller Christ. This guy's been their mainstay. A 1-yard gain that time, but he had Bryce Love a 59-yard run the last time. Other than that, they got 29 yards on 27 carries.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes these bowl games can be dangerous. I can think of a guy that thought this Sun Bowl was dangerous, and sometimes when you're a big name, you don't want to take chances. And Vern last year pulled out. You know, I mean, you don't want to get hurt.
He set out the last 3 bowl
yes,
games.
He did. Yes.
And look he's in one piece though. No knee problems, nothing.
He stayed healthy. Look what happened for next year.
Oh boy.
There's a lesson there, right?
There is.
I know he's home watching, but we had to have it ready for him.
We love you, Vern. Yep. 2nd and 9. And it's going to be the keeper this time.
All the great ones sit out, you know, these games. You know?
Burns on the carry. He's going to come up short.
Yeah, there were, you know, out of the 3 main running backs, okay, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Floyd, there's the 2 that decided not to play. A little less controversy with Leonard Floyd, right? I mean, he's been hurt all year with that, Leonard Fournette, excuse me. And then Dalvin Cook decided to play against Michigan tonight. And again, personal decision. Everybody needs to just shut up.
3rd and 5. Burns and trying to get it out to the outside, and it's incomplete, intended for Rector.
Yeah, nice coverage again that time. Des Lawrence is out there fighting tooth and nail. Both guys hand-to-hand combat. Lawrence stays with it, makes the play. That's great coverage.
Hit Rector right in the 3, but he couldn't hold on to it. So Austin Prohl's going to go back as the punt returner in this case instead of Ryan Switzer.
I wonder if that means they got a block on. Let's see if they come with a block situation because they different look up front.
Jake Bailey set to punt. Now somebody's got to take punts next year for North Carolina, so it's probably going to be Austin Prohl.
That's a good point. Washington has the quarterback, though, that they have not faced this year.
Here's a quarterback in Trubisky who continues to run. He shows good mobility, but I'm with you. I don't know how many times I'd run the guy when his right arm is as dangerous as it is.
Alan Carter, Trubisky comes up and gets into the secondary, and Mike Tyler ends up making the play. But, yeah, I guess if you're going to play, you're going to play.
13-yard gain and 1st down at the 45. Switzer, the motion man. And this time Trubisky to Prohl.
Trubisky does a lot of good things, Brad. I watch a lot of quarterbacks, and he does a lot of good things. Came from Ohio, his recruiting class, the class of 2013. Remember, he had thought about Ohio State, but it was J.T. Barrett who Urban chose. There's some of the other big names. One of them, Jared Goff, first pick in last year's draft. He was also looking at Penn State, but they went with Christian Hackenberg.
A lot of big names and a couple of those guys that are already in the league.
Yep. And as he told us, you got to choose quickly when you're a quarterback, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Those spots go and they move on if you don't choose them.
Draw play. Logan. So we approach the 4-minute mark. North Carolina's got another good drive going.
I'll tell you that Stanford does not seem at all affected by any hurry up. They see it so much in their league. They react very calmly to the hurry up.
2nd down and 4. Just inside the 39. They'll try Logan again, and he breaks into the secondary. Almost took it.
Boy, he planted that right foot. He was stretching it. When he saw the crease, he took it. Lots of stretch play to the right side, and then he's through.
He's had 2 good runs in this 3rd quarter. That spinning move you talked about earlier. Now he shoots straight up the middle and got it to the 21.
Yeah, I don't know. On my plotter, there was a little glitch there, but let's look at it one more time. He saw it, cut back, and got right through it.
And they're going to keep giving it.
I tell you, you got to give a little credit to this offensive line now for North Carolina.
They're coming off the ball.
Yes, they are. We talked about they had trouble running the ball, but they're doing a good job with it now.
And Carolina really going tempo now as they get it at the 15-yard line, and they're Stanford on their heels a little bit. That'll slow them down as Logan stopped by Phillips at the line of scrimmage.
I often wonder if these tempo teams actually measure how effective they are when they go fast on 1st or 2nd down. I mean, they are true believers in it, but I wonder if they actually measure this statistically how effective they are. Sometimes it appears they give away a down when they do this.
Logan now having to carry the load with Hood not playing. That means the freshman Jordan Brown's got to come in to give him a breather. Brown's in there right now, number 2. 2nd and 10 at the 15. Long look to the sideline. And he's going to shift Brown to the other side. Fakes it to him. Trubisky fires. And did Switzer get a foot in? Yes, he did.
I think it was Prohl to the outside. Yeah, Switzer. I was watching Switzer. He fell down to the inside. They are about the exact same size. 3 and 7. And again, one of those throws. Did he get it down? Yes, look at that drag.
Beautiful.
Daddy taught him that.
You got that right. And here's Brown to the end zone. Touchdown, North Carolina. Good looking drive.
And true freshman Jordan Brown. The future looks bright at North Carolina. They've rushed for more yards in this third quarter than they did in the first half. 73-43. Oh, there's that block again from Fritz. Brandon Fitz, number 82, does the same block. He cuts across, gets the same block with almost looks like the same outcome.
And Weiler in for the point after. North Carolina has regained the lead. And they do it on a 9-play, 68-yard drive that took a little over 3 minutes. So now after the North Carolina touchdown, as we seesaw back and forth, was all Stanford there for a while, but Carolina, best looking drive they've had today, capped off with the touchdown. And they're going to bring this kick out. Dave Tyler, the little fella, all 5'8", 165 pounds, and he's still going. Nice run. Good return after the 25. Here's Bryce Love. Again, tough run out to the 30. Pickup of about 4. Don't forget, coming up later in the game, we'll have the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. That guy could be part of it. He's had a couple big runs today, had a touchdown reception and a 59-yard dash. That is a long play call right there by Ryan Burns as he looked at his...
You like play action pass then?
Yeah.
Usually they're a little long. Or he's calling 2 plays in a huddle.
That could be. Yeah.
He needed 3 plays. If he called 2, he needed another option.
And that was an only a yard gain.
Didn't you ask Keller Christ about how he calls a play in a huddle, and he called 2 plays plus a possible checkoff?
Yeah,
right?
it took a long time.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
As we approach a minute in the third quarter, North Carolina's defense is looking to their sideline and the fans over there and saying, come on, let's get into it. It's third down at 6.
And the other question is, how much confidence does David Shaw have in Ryan Burns? He holds the ball. He's been a little bit inaccurate with the football. Can he make a big play? Because they need a big one now. Now it's Stanford's defense that needs a blow.
Been more than a little inaccurate on a couple of them. Like way off. Let's see how he does here. That one's okay, but he took a knee.
Yeah, he had his knee down.
And it's going to be 4th down.
You know, it was good coverage again to the outside. It forced the throw to the outside. Des Lawrence almost beat the receiver on the slant. And as Burns lets it go, he almost has to throw behind the receiver, or it would have been knocked out.
So they're going to have to punt. See who goes back as the punt return. It's going to be Prohl again. And that play's going to have to wait for the 4th quarter, because we have played 3 in El Paso. And the North Carolina Tar Heels with a 1-point lead, holding up those 4 fingers for the 4th quarter. We'll see whose 4th quarter it will be. We'll know in 15 minutes who's going to win the Hyundai Sun Bowl. End at 3. The Tar Heels of North Carolina, by virtue of that touchdown run, have a 1-point lead. We'll return to El Paso right after this message and a word from your local station. So we start the 4th quarter in El Paso. Stanford being forced to punt, came up a couple yards shy on that last pass completion. So Jake Bailey in to kick. And Austin Prohl waits back deep at the other end. Prohl with a fair catch. and takes it at about the 13-yard line. And that's where Mitch Trubisky and company will start offensively. We start the fourth quarter. You said 2.5 hours ago it's kind of like who wants it the most. Now we find out in the last 15 minutes.
I've been impressed with the intensity of the football game.
Yep.
Not been impressed with the, all the skills of everybody. They've laid it on the ground. They've made some puzzles, but they are trying to play it. I have no idea what's going to happen. Do you?
No, not at all.
I wouldn't venture a guess in this fourth quarter. I mean, Trubisky could get hot. Ryan Burns could find his throwing arm, basically. Yep. I mean, the one signal, North Carolina started being able to run the football. That might be the one omen for North Carolina.
This time they can't. It's the courtesy of Solomon Thomas. Boy, has he been a force.
Been the best player on the football field.
I think
There's no doubt about it. That might be something that happens most games, too, right?
Probably.
He's violent with his hands. Look at him throw off the offensive lineman. The first thing that goes up, you saw that picture of him boxing or judoing or whatever he does, but he's violent with his hands, and he just stuffs that offensive line play after play.
Forces a second down and long for Trubisky. Back to throw near his own 5.
Oh, and it's picked off, and this will be a touchdown. Easy score for Dallas Lloyd, his second interception of the day. That was a mistake by Trubisky, and Lloyd turned it into a touchdown.
Well, TJ Logan was turning up for a wheel route, and the safety comes over and covers it. Trubisky and Logan not on the same page. Someone was.
19-yard return for the score for number 29, his second pick of the day.
It was just man-to-man coverage, and Logan's turning up. And, wow.
Like you said, we don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely not.
One play later, Stanford back in front.
I think Trubisky thought it was a zone look. 2 safeties deep. He thinks it's a zone look. But at the snap, Lloyd goes up and covers the back. I think Mitch Trubisky got fooled on the play. He's going to throw to the back out of the backfield. He thinks he's got him wide open. You see Logan start to turn up, and it's a gift.
And they'll go for 2. Going to try to throw a fade to the corner. Jump ball, and broken up by North Carolina. Arcega-Whiteside, the intended receiver, went up, got it at the top of his leap, but couldn't hold it. And Dorn and Lawrence were there defensively.
Yep, right as the ball goes up, it ends up being a double team on the play. Dorn comes over, Lawrence helps out, and it would have been a tough one to complete.
But that guy, Dallas Lloyd, how about his day?
Yeah.
He's basically accounted for 9 points all by himself. 6 right here, and the other interception led to a field goal. And he's got his team back in front by 5. Ratliff Williams waiting back at the goal line for Jake Bailey's kick. This won't be returned either. Bring it out to the 25-yard line. Trubisky, play action, has plenty of time. Fires it down the middle, and it's complete. It's a first down. Thomas Jackson this time.
Yeah, Thomas Jackson is the walk-on touchdown maker. I know it isn't. He doesn't do it a lot, but he's in the Switzer spot this time. Ball in the zone. That's how the game started out.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, uh-oh, Stanford, you better watch these zone throws because that 4 vertical, he can throw that one.
24-yard pickup out to the 48-yard line.
There's no way Ryan Switzer's healthy. Something's wrong with him not being in this football game.
Because he is a football player, and that's all he thinks about is football. Here's a little bit of option. And Trubisky will keep it.
Oh, gosh.
Man, he paid the price.
It's a bad option.
Yeah, it was. Okereke met him head on.
Yeah, number 20, Okereke. It takes that long. It takes that long to run it. One of those linebackers are going to be there.
This is just not a good ending.
No.
Not for even a running back.
It just took so long to do it.
Now Switcher's back in there.
He is offsides again.
And he almost got Trubisky, but the flags are down, and somebody's got to tell him you know what? And now Trubisky turns it upfield. I thought he was going to run out of bounds.
And I think Stanford did too. You know, you get called for hitting the quarterback or anybody when they go out of bounds, and sometimes the quarterbacks take advantage of that.
And you see right there.
Absolutely, right there. Now look how deep the tackle is. The tackle's back a little bit, and Thomas moves up, but he's over that line and called back-to-back plays.
So it's a free play here, and Trubisky turns it up right here, and he got a block, and they said, wait a minute, I'll take another 10, 12,
yep,
22-yard run.
Number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalties decline. The result of the play is a first down.
So he, as Brad, as you pointed out, he was sucking wind here. He didn't have much left. He had one move inside, and he was headed to the bench. I almost could say he was probably hoping that they'd call that before the play so he could get out of there.
Meanwhile, it's all the way down to the 28-yard line. So North Carolina trying to answer after that interception, the pick 6 by Lloyd. And they've got something working here with a first down at the 28-yard line of Stanford. Keep it on the ground, only about a yard for Logan as we approach 12 minutes.
Well, let's just talk strategy here a little bit. If you're the North Carolina football team and Larry Fedora, because of the 5-point game, because Stanford tried to make it 7, now you know that as you call these plays, you know, you can go field goal and win here.
Right.
I think Stanford really didn't care. If they went field goal tie, I don't think Stanford wanted to play overtime. They wanted to put it to a 7-point game.
Kroll in motion for the slot as Trubisky play action deep down the middle. And caught by Switzer.
I thought it skipped. Switzer thinks he caught it, but both of the officials called it skip. Switzer wants a replay.
Going,
yeah, he is. He might be right.
He lays out inside the 5. Now it touched the ground.
No. Barry Switzer couldn't have sold this one. And he's a good seller.
The bootlegger's boy, is that what you're talking about?
That's right.
So that one comes back.
And he actually has signaled into the bench to replay that. Did you believe that?
Tricky, very tricky. They're down and 9. Here comes Solomon Thomas again as Trubisky's flushed from the pocket, and this time they're going to get it.
Out of field goal range, too.
It's the last thing you wanted to do.
And I thought Solomon Thomas got held on the play that time coming around the corner.
Yeah, he got a play off, and he came back in like a steam engine.
Right side, right here. Let's see. Comes off. Got a win now. Does he get held? I think he did. He got spun on the play from the right side that time. And it was William Sweet, number 51, the backup tackle that was lined up there.
They lost 13 yards on that. Now they are punting instead of going for the field goal.
Yeah, and look at Stanford's playing safe here. They forced the punt, make sure they didn't no fake.
Fair catch. And let this one go to the end zone. And Sheldon couldn't quite keep it in the field of play with 10:40 remaining. Stanford Cardinals defense comes up with a big play, gives it back to their offense with a 5-point lead.
Those are 2 bad mental mistakes by Mitch Trubisky, and one of the reasons why a one-year quarterback, a one-year starting quarterback, do you take a guy like that really high, even as much physical talent as he has?
And Mitch hasn't declared that. We've been talking about it all game. We maybe should clarify. He says, I'm going to go home, talk to my parents, and we'll figure it out in the next 4 or 5 days. And, you know, Larry Fedora looked at Gary yesterday and said, you know, he's not gone yet.
Right, exactly.
Maybe he'll come back.
And here's the decision. I mean, Mitch is very talented, okay? But if you look at the history of college football, last 10 years, only one guy has been drafted high in the first round who played just 1 year of college football.
Now you can say Cam played a year of junior college.
Right,
where
he had a little more experience than Mitch did. Now, you know, Mitch was talented enough to start, but he was behind Marquise Williams. But You still need snaps.
And this guy's been behind Christian McCaffrey all year, and he goes over 100 yards with that rush. He's been pretty impressive today as well.
At the 37-yard line for the first down after.
Well, he's got some skill. He's, you know, he was a little smaller than I thought when he walked into the room. Wasn't? Didn't you? You know, I was thinking, okay, Christian McCaffrey's the little guy. We're going to see a little, you know, it's a little bigger, but you know, not huge.
Hey, the first time you saw Christian McCaffrey, you didn't exactly say, okay, this guy's going to eat it up.
You met him, right?
Yeah.
I've never met him.
He's an impressive
But you know, a guy that from Stanford is doing really well at the next level, and he's just as big. Ty Montgomery for the Packers.
Exactly.
This could be a pass.
It is coming up. Ryan Burns loads it, unfolds it, and got it complete.
Finally out of that Wildcat. They finally did it.
It hadn't been doing anything for him until that play. 41 yards.
Well, remember, we saw Gene Chizik being very aggressive against the Wildcat. His 11 guys up there real tight. You throw the reverse pass back to the quarterback. It was not walk-in open, but good enough to get a big chunk play.
And a 41-yard pickup down to the 22-yard line. So Stanford with the lead, and now they're in scoring range. And we're approaching the 9-minute mark. Love broke one tackle, not the second one. Still, that's 17 carries for about 110 yards for Bryce.
I'll tell you, this Nas Jones is playing some football. That's a big, tall man, and he plays with a lot of effort every play. He is going to have an impressive tape here. He's had a great season for North Carolina, but he has been playing this bowl game like a man that he looks like when he walks in. Talk about a guy who walks in.
Boy, no kidding.
And he was dressed up nice yesterday for the banquet.
He looked sharp at the banquet.
Yep.
Right now, he's getting a breather on the sideline. Stanford back in the red zone. Second down and 6 at the 18. And this time, Burns keeps it. And he's got a first down near the 10-yard line. Dominic Green brought him down. And Rector and Lawrence, a little tangled up there.
Yep. And now here's the problem area for Stanford. They've been down here, what, 4 times? And they haven't made, they have 3 times they've had field goals or missed field goals.
One time they got down to the 7. They ended up back at about the 38. Right. So we'll see how they do as we are under 6 on this next snap.
Man, they've got every offensive lineman that's eligible in the game.
Scarlett, the tailback, gets the call and drops
from behind.
And it's Green, the guy that just had the penalty.
Yep, took a little bit too long for Scarlett to get going on that play.
And a great closing tackle by Green.
I tell you one thing I'm doing. If I'm Ryan Burns in the huddle, guys, we cannot have a penalty right here. No holding, no offsides. If they stop us, let's let them stop us from the 1-yard line.
Now they got everybody in there again, including an extra tackle playing fullback. And airborne this time. Did he get there?
I don't know.
No signal yet. He didn't.
I don't think so. I think the yardage he lost on first down cost him the touchdown on second down.
That might have been Dominic Green again. Made the hit.
Really?
Well, he's been in on 3 plays, a face mask and 2 penalties. I mean, a face mask and 2 tackles. He comes in from...
Boy, it's close.
Oh, man, is it ever.
It's close. I don't see a football. I can't overturn that without a football.
No. No, he didn't get there.
I don't think so.
No.
Well, we're going to see how low Stanford can get on this one.
You said goal line stand. Here you go. Like you said, they've got everybody that's on scholarship on the offensive line. 3rd and goal from the 8-inch line.
A little different look. They're not in their 4-point stances here.
Quarterback option, Love. There goes the lost yardage you talked about.
I can't believe it.
Big play by
You got to go
North
field
Carolina.
goal now. And they had him outflanked to the left side on that play, too. North Carolina was confused. Look how confused they are to the top. They actually, because they misalign, they run right into the misalignment.
Jim Harbaugh is turning over in his recliner right now on that call.
Oh, my goodness. I would have gone right at him. I'm telling you 2 more times.
5,000 pounds of linemen up there, and they went the wrong way, and they lost yardage, and now they've got to kick it. And the kick up and good. So tack 3 more on for Stanford. They had an opportunity, but Larry Fedora is fired up, and why not? Because they had it at about the 1-foot line, and Dominique Green did that. The big fellas up front, and Dominique Green did that.
And then David Shaw did that.
David Shaw did that. And Drew Capina got the field goal. 25-17.
Now, if it gets long yardage because they have 3 timeouts, they could punt one more time.
Right.
But, you know, if they get a successful drive, I don't see a punt.
Bailey has not really allowed any return yardage today on his kickoffs. So it might be a 25-yard line situation for the Tar Heels. We'll wait and see. This one maybe is returnable. Nope, not after that. So out to the 25, and out comes the Tar Heel offense.
Well, we know one guy, whether they go 4 downs, 5 downs, or 10 downs, is going to keep on coming for the whatever they got. He'll take on his blocker, throw him off with his hands, arm under or over on that one, but whatever it takes until he runs out of gas, he's going to keep running.
He's one of the best I've seen all year.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, Mitch.
And if you're coach, if you're, you know, for Stanford, if you're Lance Anderson, their defensive coordinator, you have to keep him fresh.
Trubisky, now he's going to go for the big chunk on the sideline, and he got it to Bug Howard. They're not done yet.
For sure.
We knew they had to have a chunk play, and here it is.
3 passes to the sideline, 2 toe tappers, and 1 to Bug Howard. Let's watch it one more time.
Got it in coverage. He got it. 44-yard pickup.
Left foot, left knee.
And still, they got that one time out
there. And they've got 3. Well, you know, there's no idea. There's no way Stanford knows where this football's going. You know, 3, 7, 84. They're all viable.
Trubisky 251 now as off play action goes down the middle again. Switzer had it bounce off his hands. There was pretty good coverage there. Jordan Perez.
I think he did. I think Jordan Perez got his hand on it from the middle linebacker position. Too deep, open in the middle. That means the middle linebacker has to get depth, and it's exactly what he does, and he gets his finger on the ball.
So close. There it is.
Just his left hand.
Nonetheless, North Carolina's covered 69 yards in 5 plays in about 30 seconds on this drive, and they still have 1:02 to play with and a timeout. Trailing by 8. Trying to tie this thing up. Cardinal brings an extra man. Trubisky going to the end zone. Drops it. Bug Howard dropped it in the end zone.
Bug Howard was anticipating the catch. He was starting to lean away. He felt the coverage. Watch him lean away. Thought he had it, and that is as good as you can throw it and as bad as you can drop it.
Oh, man.
Tries to put his hand over his eyes.
Look at that. Trubisky's already ready to go. A touchdown.
Yep, he thought he had a touchdown.
Put the brakes on, Mitch. You got to throw it again. And he will here on 3rd down and 10. 2-play territory. Obviously, we're under a minute.
It's a man look. The middle linebacker's out over the tight end. It's a man key, and Stanford's going to come after him.
They've got 5 guys up, and they're bringing them. Trubisky, deep middle. Switzer's got this one.
Yep, he's down on the 1.
1st and goal, North Carolina. They're trying to get everybody up to the line of scrimmage.
Yep, knee was down right at the 1-yard line.
Stanford trying to change their personnel. 1st and goal at the 1. Logan dropped for a yard loss. And is that the timeout? 38 seconds
And that's
remaining.
the one timeout they had because they ran out of bounds on the 3rd down play.
Remember, from this spot, and I've mentioned it before in the Pittsburgh game, they threw to Bug Howard on a fade that they called 235 fade. He's down to the bottom of the screen right now. Trubisky, low snaps, going to throw it the other way. And dropped by Cunningham. Hit him in the hands. Coverage was pretty good again by Buncombe.
Yeah, Buncombe twice. One, he survived a play because of a drop. This time, he survives, but he was involved in it. I think Buncombe got his hand on the second one. That's not a drop, Coach. I think Buncombe got his hand on the next one. Take a peek here. See if he doesn't cause this. I think he got it in there.
I do too. Over and around. And now it's 34 seconds remaining.
Now
and it's
you
third down.
Could run the ball here if you call 2 plays in the huddle. If you don't, you have to throw it.
It's a fired up coach right now. 10th play of the drive. It's covered the length of the field at this point in a minute. Trubisky has a word with his offensive line. Resets T.J. Logan to the right side. And on third down, rolls right. Pressure coming from behind. Look out. Got away. Reloads to the end zone. Touchdown! And it's Bug Howard. There's the touchdown. The 2-point conversion is coming up. Heck of a drive.
Beautiful. He had a touchdown pass dropped. He had one knocked out. And then he avoids the blitz by Kalambayi and finds Bug Howard to come within 2. Hey, good finish here, huh?
You bet. There was some traffic there, but number 84 made the catch. And now the 2-point attempt.
Yeah, he had to. He had to after dropping the other one, right? He had to. Just remember, you have a running quarterback here.
They're 0 for 1 on their 2-point conversions this year. That's Switzer in motion. Carolina for 2. Here comes Solomon Thomas. And down he goes. There's the play of the game by the player of the game.
Wow. He was so fast across that line of scrimmage. It's hard to believe.
My, oh my. Is number 90 a football player?
Oof, that's one of those ones. What's your position? Football.
Wow. What a heck of a game he has played.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. He's inside right there. Watch him attack right through, and boom. Boy, it was like he had the dog on the leash and yanked him down at the end, too, didn't he?
No doubt.
One hand, and that's a 225-pound quarterback, and he yanks him down.
And that is 273 pounds of mean machine right there. So now Weiler for the onside kick. And it's open for a second, but Stanford covered it. Switzer was close. Stanford's got the football. It took one weird hop. Now, if it changed hands down there in the bottom, I'd be shocked.
Usually that front line allows the ball to bounce one more time and go to the back line.
It's Kevin Palmer coming out of the pile with it. Here's another look. Got by the first guy, but not by number 44. So Stanford is going to win their 10th game of the season. And there is a big reason why right there. And is it Mitch Trubisky's last game in Tar Heel Blue? We'll find out in the next 4 or 5 days, he says. So one snap is all it's going to take.
Well, I will say this about Mitch Trubisky. He's not a finished product.
No.
Right?
No.
He's got a lot of potential. And he's probably going to get drafted in the first round. But he's not a finished product. Solomon Thomas is.
Yeah.
That man is Naz Jones.
So another 10-win season for Coach Shaw. Congratulations to the Cardinal as they take the 83rd annual Hyundai Sun Bowl. Boy, both teams came to play.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brad Henson, number 73, was at right guard on the play. He in the center. Watch these two guys right here. The two people, when you got them right there, watch them just turn them loose, and no one takes number 90.
And that's a big mistake.
Yep.
And Allie's with our star of the game. Allie?
Solomon, you came up with the biggest play of the game to keep North Carolina from tying it up. Take me into that mind of yours on that last play.
We had a max zero train call. I'm supposed to go off the O-lineman's movement. I was able to get a good get off. Got back there. My teammates were in the right position. My team played their heart out all game. I loved them to death, and I had to do it for my brothers, man.
After the way this season started, what's it like to finish 6-0 and show everybody what you guys are really made of?
It's just a testament to the character of our team. Our motto this year was fight, and we never stopped fighting. We lost 2 games in a row, came back with a win, lost another devastating game. And it just shows that we never stopped fighting, that we have resilience, we have perseverance, man. That just shows our team, man. I love them so much. It's such a special team.
Congrats on the win, Solomon. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
And I have not seen too many defensive players as good as that guy. And he helps his Stanford Cardinal win the Hyundai Sun Bowl 83rd edition. 25-23 is the final. Great game, though. Congratulations, both teams. They came to play and played hard in El Paso, out in West Texas. But in the end, it was Stanford, the Cardinal, going to 10-3 on another brilliant season for them out of the Pac-12. That's going to wrap things up from El Paso for Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce. Brad Nessler saying so long. Final score, 25-23. Jeep postgame show is up next after these messages. So long from El Paso.